Hello, everybody. Before we start, I just wanted to let you guys know if you don't know the story of Naziah Harris, it is tragic. This little girl was groomed for the last couple of years, as they know, because mind you, she definitely could have been groomed earlier than that. But she ended up getting pregnant by the auntie's boyfriend at 13, being pregnant by the auntie's boyfriend. And allegedly he unalived her. And right now they're going through the preliminary to see if they can bring this case to trial. I'm going to go ahead and play the intro, but I just wanted to give you guys a warning. Please go ahead, subscribe to the channel. Please hit that like button. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And yes, I'm your boy AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling? I'm going to be short with the intro real quick because, like I said, this is a serious topic. For those of you who don't know, Naziah Harris is still missing. She has not been found. I know there's been a lot of rumors like, oh, I know where the body is. No. She has not been found. So with that being said, they are trying to move along with this case, even though they do not have any evidence as of now, as far as her body. The body has not been retrieved. She is still missing. Mind you, I was under the impression that she was missing as of January 9th. She was missing January 9th, you guys. That is correct. But January 9th of 2024, last year. And it just got national news now. Again, January 9th, 2024. Not 2025, 2024. So it happened over a year ago. And we all know, and for those of you that say, why are you making about race? Shut up. Let me explain. We know that when Black children go missing, usually it's seen as they were runaways. It's not seen as a missing person. So it does not get national news and it does not get the same attention as others. We know this. This is a fact, So with that being said, I wanted to put that out there. For example, there were a Black girl missing during the same time that Gabby Petito was missing. And that didn't get hardly any coverage. I even forgot what the girl name was. I felt bad for that. Now her father, Gabby Petito's father, is working on making sure that brown and black people are represented. And he's actually working to make sure that they get recognized when they do go missing, because it doesn't get the same kind of coverage. It doesn't. That's a fact. You can look it up. Yes, California is the only state with the ebony alert. Yes, that is true. Thank you for mentioning that, beautiful. And hello, everybody coming in the room. Like I said, I wasn't going to do too many intros. I kind of just wanted to get into this since this was a serious topic. But I see you guys. Thank you guys for being here. So I wanted to go ahead and pull up a few videos for you guys. But before I do that, I just wanted to go over the timeline really quick of everything that has went down with this case. So starting from 2024, not July, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. January 2024. And I'm just going to pull up my notes really quick. So Naziah Harris got off of the school bus on Cornell Wall Street in 3 Mile Drive, which is near the intersection of Warren Avenue and Outer Drive on Detroit's east side. She was never seen again. Jarvis Butts was scheduled to turn himself to the authorities on gun charges. However, this was pushed back to February. So, for those of you who don't know who Jarvis is, that's the one on the left right there. That's who Jarvis is. So, again, he was supposed to turn himself in, but it ended up getting pushed back to February. Because his excuse when they first interrogated him was that, oh, I was dealing with some legal stuff, but it had already got pushed back. So there was no legal stuff that he was dealing with at that time as far as turning himself in. January 10th, 2024, Detroit Public Schools Community District launched an investigation after Annette Harris, that's the grandma, reported her disappearance. So they didn't report the disappearance until the following day. If a 13-year-old child is missing, that needs to be reported right away. So keep that in the back of your mind that it was not reported that this 13-year-old was missing until the following day. After official, and this is now we're moving on to February 14th. February 14th, 2024, after officials with Detroit Public School Community District hit a roadblock, they brought the case to the Detroit Police Department, leading the police canvassing the area and investigating the case on February 14th. So again, the district did their own investigation because originally Annette just reported that she ran away. Didn't report that she was missing, just said she ran away and told the school. And then when the school wasn't getting any information, they had to then contact the police department. February 15th, Detective Jason Mays and his partner interviewed Jarvis Butts in connection to Neziah's case. Butts claimed he was dealing with legal issue on the day Neziah went missing. He also told Mays and Johnson that Neziah, who's related to one of his daughters, would occasionally come to his auto shop to work with his daughter. Now, why does Neziah have to go to the auto shop with your daughter? Or what would the kids be doing at the auto shop? The only thing I can think of, maybe sweep up a little bit, clean up a little bit, but what would they really be doing at an auto shop? That's weird. All right, so March 6th, police began searching a pond near the intersection of, I think it's Great Avenue and Quinn Road in Clinton Township relating to Neziah's disappearance. On March 7, 2024, a woman reports to police she found Neziah's school ID. She said she stepped over it multiple times over 2 weeks before deciding to pick it up. Once she picked up the ID that was face down, she recognized Neziah's photo and called police. So this woman happened to be walking over this ID, and let's be honest. Let me show my face. There's a lot of times like I will see stuff on the ground, and I kind of look like, oh, what's that? And I'll just mind my business. So I don't blame this lady who just walked over the ID. She probably was like, oh, that's just trash on the ground. It happened to be her ID. Now, I don't think her finding the ID 2 weeks prior would have changed anything, really. So I don't blame this lady. I just wanted to say that. March 12th, 2024, 2 months after Neziah's disappearance, her family told Local 4 they're holding on to hope of finding her. At this point, there have been over a dozen searches for her. Authorities searched the area of 7 Mile and Burge near the river in relation to Neziah's case. There they found pink overalls, a black hoodie with headphones in the pocket, and a shoe. This is what they're saying that they found. But, you guys, this is the outfit she was wearing. So that is the black hoodie right there. But as far as pink overalls, I don't see that on her. Now, it could be covered up by the jacket, right? And there's another picture, too, that they have on surveillance. So I'm going to pull that up in a minute. Don't worry. Detroit police submit a warrant request relating to Nazia's disappearance. This was on August 15th. Then, September 26, 2024, Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy announced Jarvis Butts was charged in connection to her disappearance. Authorities announced the case will be treated as a homicide, even though a body has not been found. And still today, a body has not been found. Jarvis Butts is arraigned and faces multiple charges in Nazia's murder. November 1st, 2024, Jarvis Butts' preliminary examination begins. It's not only focused on the Nazia case, but also two other victims Butts allegedly sexually assaulted. A 13-year-old and a 20-year-old testified in two separate sexual abuse cases. So I just found out that the 13-year-old was 4 at the time, and how they found out that he was sexually abusing the 4-year-old was that he gave her chlamydia, a 4-year-old child. And I also found out that 4-year-old was his child. Now, the 13-year-old is now 20. I don't think that's his child or related to him, but still, either way, this is a known predator. He was on the registry list, and the auntie knew about this before she got with him and had 5 kids. 2 girls, 3 boys. 2 girls, 3 boys. This is why I say the family has failed Nazia. And a lot of people have been wondering about her dad. Her dad actually passed away a year ago, but he had gave up his rights to the grandmother. And the reason being was because he was actually married at the time that Nazia was conceived with the mama. And the mama is not in the picture. The grandma even tells you that the grandma's not in the picture. I mean, the grandma says that the mom is not in the picture. She doesn't talk to her. There's a lot going on. So I want to play this video first just to give you guys more context to the backstory. Here we go. And shout out to Mystery Mom Drake. This is her video. Let's go ahead and listen to it, you guys.
All right, you guys. So as you know, we are discussing the case of Nazia Harris. And after I did my last video, I saw a lot of people had the question of, where is Nazia's bio dad? Okay, so Nazia's dad is a man by the name of Mervyn Jennings. And sadly, you guys, Mervyn did pass away in 2024. But there is a whole story behind Mervyn and why he wasn't in Nazia's life. So Mervyn did multiple interviews about a year ago, around the time that she first went missing. And in those interviews, he was saying that he had a wife and he cheated on his wife and had Nazia. So during all of this, he was also battling congestive heart failure. Now, it's a lot that I still don't understand. But from what he was saying, when Nazia's mother couldn't take care of her and, you know, he had his situation going on with his wife, he made the decision to sign his rights over to the grandmother. Now, he's saying that he hadn't seen Nazia for about 8 years before she went missing. And listen to what he had to say about a year ago when Nazia first went missing.
Only reconnected after 2 Detroit public schools police officers tracked him down.
When the last time you been up to your daughter's school? I said, my daughter's school. I said, I don't even know what school she go to. I said, I've been looking for her. And they looked at each other and I was like, what's going on? They said, your daughter's missing.
So I have a lot of questions about.
I know the father has passed away, right? I just don't understand it. Maybe because I'm not a parent, I can't understand giving away your children or just not wanting to be in their lives. I don't understand that. I will never understand that concept. Never. I don't think I want to understand it.
This situation, but like I said before, sadly Mervyn has passed away. But another thing that Mervyn came out and said was he talked to Nazia's older brother at some point of time. And that older brother told him that the family knew Jarvis was doing something to Naziah ever since she was 12, which would contradict what the grandmother Annette and the aunt Shannon is saying. So there's a family member that came forward by the name of Roxy. And Roxy actually put this out last year when Naziah first went missing, but for some reason, all of this is coming out.
And that's the auntie right there in the purple right there. That's the auntie. Oh, I said that behind membership. I'll let it play. Sorry.
Out now. So she has messages between her and Shannon, and these messages are from when Naziah first went missing. Now, one thing I have to point out is that address Balfour and Outer Drive. So in these messages, she brings up that Naziah asked her about that address, and then Roxy said, well, who lives there? Shannon says, we don't know. But listen to what Shannon says at that preliminary hearing when she details exactly who she used to pick up at that address.
No. Do you know anybody at that location? No, the only thing that I'm familiarized with just picking up Jarvis Outer Drive in Belfort.
So when she went missing, you knew exactly who was at that address. You know your 13-year-old niece is missing, and you know she asked you about an address that you picked up Jarvis at. Why wouldn't you say this at first? And y'all, this message right here, I'm gonna let y'all put in that last word, but she's basically saying Naziah just wanted some. Not only did Shannon admit that she saw Instagram messages between Naziah and Jarvis.
Let me go back.
Instagram messages between Naziah and Jarvis. You knew before. Here, I'm gonna let y'all put in that last word, but she's basically saying
she said the crib, not the bando, is it? Did y'all ride over there? All her friends saying we did nothing wrong. She wants some. Oh my God. I think the word that was scratched out was dick. And mind you, the cousin has been putting them on blast, and I thought I pulled up her interview. I'm gonna try to find her interview real quick while I let this play for you guys. Hold on. Sorry about that. Like I said, the family felt this girl. The family ain't shit.
Naziah just wanted some. Not only did Shannon admit that she saw Instagram messages between Naziah and Jarvis, you knew before you got with this man he had a record, and you knew that he would harm children. Now, y'all, when I first covered this story, one thing that I wanted to point out was the fact that Naziah went missing on January 9th. They did not alarm police until that next day. But as we're going through the details, we learned that she met up with him, got in the car with him after school, went to the auto shop, stayed at the auto shop for hours. If somebody in that home had just said, okay, Naziah didn't get off the bus, let's go search around for her. This girl was alive for hours after she got off that bus. And y'all was just going ahead like nothing was going on instead of going out there and looking for her right then and there. Like, this is what people are talking about when they say that Naziah was failed. We know that Jarvis did this to her. We know that Jarvis is a monster. But if you knew that you were her guardian, you had custody over her, you was the person that was supposed to protect her. Why did you let this man around her? Now, I'm going to keep you guys updated as more information comes out. Let me say,
I'm going to go ahead and stop this right here. And again, I think it was a situation where they let that little girl do whatever she wanted to. And not just do whatever she wanted to as far as like, you know, come and go or in and out the house or come home whenever she wanted to. I think they knew that Jarvis, the predator boyfriend, I think they knew what she was doing. Especially with that text message that said, oh, she just wants some D. Y'all, the whole family needs to be in jail. Put the whole motherfucking family in jail. All right, I want to go ahead and pull this interview up with the cousin. I had debated on whether or not I was going to read the text messages from Naziah because a lot of people have been accusing Naziah of being too grown or fast, you know, as they used to say. And people have been putting the blame on a 13-year-old and not that this grown 42-year-old man groomed her. So, yeah, we're going to, I am going to read the text messages. I am. Let me pull up the cousin's interview. Shout out to Court TV.
Do it. They know how to get close to children. And that's apparently what happened here. I want to bring in a special guest with us tonight. Joining us from Detroit, Michigan, Neziah Harris's cousin, Roxy. Roxy, thank you so much for joining us. This is a huge development in the case. Wanted to get first your reaction to the prosecutor, Kim Worthy, making the announcement that the charges have been brought in this case.
It's definitely a sense of relief here to finally be able to hear her say those words that we've been knowing from the beginning. Like I said in our last interview, you know, we, considering his background and things like that, we had our suspicions, and we're glad that they finally came to light today.
So can you explain for us the connection of Jarvis Butts and Neziah and Neziah's family and your family?
The connection with Jarvis is Jarvis was Neziah's aunt boyfriend, and they also have children together as well. So that was how he was able to be around the family as the immediate family that Neziah was living with, I assume as often as he wanted to be.
And his history, how well did people know his history and what he liked to do, which was prey upon children?
So here's the thing. And like I said this behind the membership, but now I don't care, so I'm just going to say it publicly. I think he preyed on women with low self-esteem and women with low self-esteem with young children. Because basically he knew he could get away with it. Because these women are so pitiful that they're just happy to be with a man. I said it. Let's continue.
His history was very well known. I mean, he did do time in prison before for sexual misconduct of a 13-year-old girl or under as well. And I think he did 10 years in prison for that as well. And it was also very well known to her aunt, who was her boyfriend, that he let it be known to her as well that he was also, a sexual predator, and he left the decision up to her whether she wanted to continue to have a relationship with him, and she continued to have a relationship with him, knowing that he previously had those charges against him, did time for it, and that he was a registered sex offender.
How long? Because what the prosecutor said, Prosecutor Worthy, the long-term sexual abuse, and that's the part that just breaks your heart. How long did he have access to Neziah?
From what the prosecutor said, they said that they have messages going back to 2000.
And you know what the crazy part is? This wasn't like a secret. Like no one is saying, "Oh, I did not know. I did not know he was a predator." Like, it was all in your grill. It was all in your face, and you still chose to what? Because you ugly and fucking desperate. That's why.
2020.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not going to have any sympathy for the aunties and the mom. I'm just not. I don't have any sympathy. So if it offends you, please leave. But I'm not going to have any sympathy for them. They felt this girl. That's evident.
Too. However, I personally believe that he's been around the family longer than that, considering the fact of, the amount of children that he has with Neziah's aunt.
5 kids.
With Neziah's aunt. And those children, I think the oldest is probably 11 or 12 years old. So he's been around for a while.
I want to take a listen to the prosecutor here who was answering a question during this press conference. Let's take a listen.
Some of Neziah's relatives said they previously had talked to CPS about allegations of sexual abuse from Neziah and other kids. Did that ever make it to your office? Is that something that police have investigated before?
Yeah, let me just say this, that if anyone that is watching this press conference right now or reads any of the coverage that I'm sure that you will give this, has any reason to believe that they were a victim of his or that they know something else, we certainly welcome them to contact the Detroit Police Department.
So it wasn't a direct answer to the question, but Rob.
Okay. Just looking through your comments real quick. Okay. So I've never looked at is it Megan's list or Morgan's list? I've never looked at that. Let me see if I can pull it up, because what I understood was that he was a sex offender, The two new charges are something that they found it through the investigation of Neziah, and that's why he's being charged with those. Oh, he hasn't reported since 2019. Okay, so he is. Okay, so he is, but he hadn't reported since then. Okay. And yes, I do want to bring that up too. Thank you, Celebrity Scandalous. They are saying that the family has a long history of things happening to them, which in turn, I still don't feel. I feel like that would make you more protective than anything. Yeah, it's wild. All right, let me continue.
Roxy, from the position of the family, is there any level of frustration that the family knew of this, they were reaching out and nothing was done? Is anyone, like, there's obvious blame, Jarvis Butts is the one, right? But is there any level of shared blame amongst anyone else who didn't do anything here?
Thank you, Darcy.
I mean, absolutely. There's definitely lots of frustration within the family. You know, there were family members that called CPS several times. There were family members that called the police as well, and nothing came of it. You know, CPS is supposed to be, you know, safeguard welfare for our children, and they're supposed to be able to respond promptly and do thorough investigations to be able to negate you know, reports of abuse and neglect. And because of the reports of the abuse and the neglect and the molestation that were reported to Child Protective Services, and for it to just seem like, you know, there wasn't a thorough investigation being done or just turned a blind eye. And unfortunately, it's brought us to this very unfortunate event, which is, you know, my cousin being deceased today.
That's exactly the problem here, right? It's Child Protective Services. We want them to protect them before this happens if we know of something.
CPS needs to be investigated too as well. I just want to put that. But shout out to Celebrity Scandalous. Thank you for the $5 super chat. She said, when my daughter was in school over on Piedmont, I looked up Megan's Law and found out a parent was listed. I was shocked. Listen. I am not shocked. I feel like there's a lot of people and for me, I don't have children, so I don't think about it, but I'm pretty sure we're living around a lot of people, especially if you don't live around a school, because I know they can't live around schools. I bet you there's a lot of people on there. I'm going to want to hurt you if I know that you are. Crazy. All right, and thank you, Celebrity Scandalous. Make sure you guys check out her channel too as well. All right, let's continue.
See something, say something, make a report, and unfortunately, Neziah was not protected in all of that. I have to point out your shirt says, "Where is Neziah?" because she still hasn't been found.
Right.
How important is it that
her body is still, they do not have her, they have not found her body. They do not have her body. So we will continue to ask, you know, where is Neziah, so that we can be able to give her the proper rest that she deserves. She didn't deserve any of this to happen to her. She was only 13 years old, or, 14, just, 10 days ago. And it was hard to even try to have a celebration for her because it was not a celebration. And it should have been. So we will continue to ask, where is Neziah, until we get those answers, because she needs to properly be laid to rest properly, because she deserves that.
Absolutely. And Roxy, it's important that the family does exactly what you're doing. let everyone know this doesn't end right now. It doesn't end with an arrest. It doesn't end with a conviction.
Right.
We need to find Neziah as well. Roxy, thank you so much.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop that right there. Okay, and I want to let you guys know, because a lot of people might be wondering, like, oh, how come whatchamacallit, how come he hasn't said where the body is? Like, Jarvis, he's saying that he's pleading not guilty, and he's pleading that he didn't do anything. So as far as getting a confession, he's not going to give us a confession at this moment. No, not at all. He's still pleading not guilty. And I think, honestly, say if they even do find her, I think he still will plead not guilty. He didn't do it. I feel like the defense is going to throw out there, oh, well, look how this girl talks. She could have been talking to anyone. And again, this is not me saying it, you guys. This is me saying what the defense is probably going to say. They're going to try to throw it back on Neziah, who's a child. Again, Neziah is a child. She is the victim. So I wanted to read over a few of the text messages so you can kind of get the dynamic. And these are the text messages that Jarvis tried to delete and give to the detectives and say, hey, look at my phone. There's no messages between us. He deleted them. That's why he was so willing to give it to him. So this was on September 27, 2022. This is from Harris. So this is Neziah right here. Come on, you okay? Where are we doing it at your choice? This is her talking to him. Then Jarvis says, you tell me. Harris replies back, basement. You sure? Or job? Jarvis, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Jarvis says, can you suck my dick, please? And make sure you erase the messages. Already telling her, oh, erase those messages. Neziah replies back, hey, that is what I plan to do. June 5th, 2022. Jarvis says, I'm at your house. Neziah replies, damn, we were just there. You bet not be in my room. I need another phone. I miss you. Then Jarvis says, trigger warning, I stole your panties. And the auntie and the grandma didn't know anything about this, and he was around that, because the way they're making it seem was like he was like there to see the kids, and that was it. They're saying that they don't know any. All right, let me continue. June 24th, 2023. So it skips a whole year, right? So Jarvis says, send me some pictures, please. And then Neziah said, don't you still got the other pics? Jarvis says, no. Neziah says, I will send some. June 27, 2023. Jarvis says, are you naked yet? Harris says, no, I don't want to get naked. Are you mad I didn't get naked? And then Jarvis says, I used to you telling me no. And then Neziah says, come on, babe. I'm sorry. I'm just not in the mood right now. I'm sorry. And she's probably telling him no because she realizes that this is not something she should be doing. That's probably why she's telling you no, you sick bastard. September 26, 2023. Neziah says, babe, you up? Question marks. Yeah, my period haven't came at all. Hello, you there? And then Jarvis says, what you mean? Neziah says, it have not came. Jarvis says, since when? Neziah replies back, since I was in the hospital. Now, what was she in the hospital for? That's what I'm wondering. And then Jarvis says, that was last month. Harris said, Neziah said, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I have to go to the doctor's tomorrow. Jarvis replies back. He said, you said you took a pregnancy test and it was negative. Harris said it did. Jarvis replies, so go get one. And then Neziah says, I can't. I have no money. And she says, you go get one. Then she says, you ain't scared to get a plan B, get a pregnancy test, and bring it later today. Just act like you have to use the bathroom. So in this text message, he has already gotten her plan Bs before. So he's literally having sex with her without a condom, knowing that it's a possibility that she can get pregnant. And he has gotten her plan Bs before. All right. So Neziah replies back, please, will you do it? Hello. And then Jarvis says, okay. So this was on September 26, 2023. So then it jumps to November 27, 2023. So it's all like, okay, so what happened in that 2-month span? It says, Harris, Neziah, I just want to talk. I really don't want to lose you. So he probably started ignoring her once it was confirmed that she was pregnant. Mind you, this is a little girl saying, I just want to talk. I really don't want to lose you. Harris says, can we talk later? Yes or no? Then she says, I don't want your, I don't what your, probably she meant to say, I don't know what your problem, but I need you to bring me what I need tonight. It's hard doing all this, this gym shit. This is, with this baby. And if I don't do them, I'm gonna get a F. So she wasn't able to. So she has, you know, you have PE, right? Some people call it gym, but I know here we called it PE. So she had gym or PE, and she still had to do the exercises because she's covering up that she's pregnant. So mind you, now she had to be at least like 3-4 months pregnant, you guys. So from September, she said she went to the doctor and she hadn't had her period in like a month. So she was pregnant back in August. So August, September, September, October, November. So about 3 months at this point. Then January 9th, the day that Neziah went missing, January 9th. This is the final text exchange between Butts and Harris before she went missing. Mind you, he said he didn't talk to her, didn't see her. Neziah says, don't forget, be there before 3. I will let you know when I'm leaving the school. If you're not there, I will wait. Harris says, send okay if you see the message so I can delete your number. And then Jarvis says, okay. And that was like her last message. And this photo was taken that day. The photo was taken that day. That was the last photo. And they have her on surveillance walking from the school bus in the direction to his garage that he owns with his friend. The hotel he checked into was just 3 minutes. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's deep right there. She probably already felt abandoned because of her dad and her mom. So just imagine the quote unquote love of her life has now abandoned her, and how does she feel? And he knew not to pick her up from the bus stop. He knew to make her walk because he didn't want to get seen on camera. Wow. Wow. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and play this from the grandma because I need a little break to stop talking. Like I said, this stuff is really hard because it's heavy and you take on a lot of the emotions, you know? And shout out to the channel Justice. They are on YouTube. This is where I got the video from. Justice is a process. So let's go ahead and play it. This is the grandma Annette.
Speak clearly in the mic. You can get up and put it in your lap too if you like.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Could you state your name for the record?
Annette Harris.
And Ms. Harris, do you know someone or did you know someone by the name of Neziah Harris?
Yes.
And who is Neziah to you?
My granddaughter.
Are you her legal guardian?
Yes, I am.
When did you become her legal guardian?
I adopted Neziah back in 2016.
And that was court work or paperwork filed and all of that to legally adopt her?
Yes, it took a process.
Oh.
Yes.
And back in January of 2024, did Neziah live with you?
Yes.
I don't want to know the specific address, but what street did you live on?
Bedford.
And is that in the city of Detroit, Wayne County?
Yes, it is.
How long had Neziah been living with you at that address on Bedford?
Oh, wow. Basically.
No, they haven't been charged.
Ever since I had her.
Since 2016?
Well, we moved to another house.
Okay. When did you move into the Bedford house?
Let me see. 2019, we moved in that house and then moved in the house that I am now, which is still on Bedford.
Okay. And did Neziah make those moves with you?
Yes.
And in January of 2024, at that Bedford location, who else lived there?
Just me, the kids. My other daughter lived with me at the other address. But it was just basically me and my kids and Shannon.
And who is Shannon?
My daughter.
And what's her last name?
Harris.
And she lived with you and Neziah and the other kids at the Bedford location?
At the first Bedford location.
Okay.
Yes.
At that first Bedford location, how many other kids?
And by the way, Shannon is the baby mama of Jarvis's 5 kids. That's the auntie.
In addition to Neziah lived there?
My other two, my grandson and my other
Thank you.
grandchildren.
Okay. So how many kids total in that house?
Let's see. 6. Should have been 6.
And you and Shannon, correct?
Well,
Living there.
Shannon, she was there, but she wasn't really like there all the time.
Okay.
She would spend more majority of her time at my house, but actually Shannon had her place out in Clinton Township.
And when you were there in January of 24, how old was Neziah at that time?
January 24th, she had 13. She had her birthday in September.
And was she going to school?
Yes, she was.
What school did she attend?
J.E. Clark Preparatory Academy.
And is that also in Detroit?
Yes, it is.
just generally, can you tell us about your morning routine with the kids, specifically Neziah, about getting them to school and things like that?
Sure. Okay.
I don't think the grandma is 36. I had read the comment before and I didn't address it, but yeah, I don't think she's 36. That the math wouldn't add up. No. I don't think the grandma's 30. Well, I forgot. The grandma was pregnant. The grandma Annette, she was pregnant at 13. So let me take that back. It could be plausible. I'll try to find out for you guys.
6 a.m. That's when I get the children up. They usually get up, get dressed, prepare themselves. About 7:15, 7:20.
Okay. Thank you.
We're basically saying prayer and we're loading up in the car. I'm dropping them off at school at 7:30. Breakfast starts at 7:30.
Oh Lord,
And you like to eat breakfast
11.
at school.
And
Wow.
does that include Neziah? You would drop her off at J.E. Clark?
All together, yes.
Now, I want to talk about, let me ask it this
Facts.
way. Did you know someone by the name of Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
And do you see Mr. Butts in the courtroom today? If you need to stand up and look around.
I got no glasses on. I don't see them.
Do you need glasses? Maybe?
Yeah, my
Okay,
daughter has my glasses.
Okay, Judge, may I take a moment to go get your glasses?
Now, y'all, he right there. Right there. She's like, hold on, let me make me bigger. Hold on. She's like, I don't see him. I don't see. Nigga, he's the only one in green. And you don't see him? They play it in our faces. Put them all in jail. Put them all in jail right now.
Yes.
Mm.
May I approach witness, Judge?
Yes.
Could you point to him and identify a piece of clothing that he's wearing?
Blue uniform with the blue mask.
For the record, the witness has identified Jarvis Butts, the defendant in this matter.
So reflected?
And may I approach the witness again, Judge?
Yeah.
I'm approaching with what's already been admitted as People's 9. And Ms. Harris, do you recognize the person in that photo?
Yes.
And who is that person?
Jarvis Butts.
And is that the same person you've identified in court here today?
Yes.
And Ms. Harris, how did you know Mr. Butts back in January of 2024?
He's the father of my daughter's children.
And is that daughter Shannon Harris?
Yes.
Okay. How many kids do they have together?
5.
And would he come around your house on Bedford in January or the months leading up to January?
Whenever he did come, he would always pull up in a white truck, and Shannon would go out to the car and they would sit and talk or whatever, but he would very rarely come in my house.
Okay. And during that time when he would come around and sit in his car, was there any times that he would interact with Neziah that you saw?
Not that I remember, no.
Okay. Now I want to talk specifically about January 9th. You had described your morning routine with the kids. Did you follow that routine on January 9th?
Yes, I did.
And did that include dropping Neziah off at J.E. Clark 7:15 to 7:30?
One thing I noticed just looking at her face, and I know it's kind of small for you guys, but one thing looking at her face, she doesn't even seem like distraught. And even the daughter Shannon didn't look distraught, like upset, like, oh my God, how did this happen? Like, what's going on? And I just want to find, like, nothing about them. They didn't act like somebody's missing. They're kind of just acting like it's just a normal day. It's just a regular day. Not, it's upsetting.
Yes.
And can you tell us what she was wearing on January 9th, 2024?
Yes, she was wearing a pair of light powdered blue jeans with a light powdered blue jacket that had the black little fur around the collar. It was like a two-piece set.
And did she have a sweater on or a shirt on or something?
She had a shirt. She wore a shirt underneath it.
And you remember, did she have any other clothes with her on the 9th when you dropped her off?
She had her little blue sweatshirt with the little hoodie. She had that with her.
And do you know how or when she got that hoodie?
I bought that hoodie for her. I guess it was in the fall sometime when I bought it. When I first, I mean, it wasn't nothing new. It was just one of her old hoodie jackets she'd use when she go to gym.
Okay. And in terms of, if you know, the condition of that hoodie on the 9th, was it torn, ripped, damaged in any way?
No, no, it was fairly, really, like, kind of like still new, because she took pretty good care of her things.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
May I approach you?
Yes.
I'm approaching with People's Proposed Exhibit 12. Ms. Harris, do you recognize what I just handed you?
Yes,
And is that a picture of Neziah?
yes.
And do you know when that picture was taken?
The same day, January the 9th, she took this picture.
Move to admit People's Proposed 12.
Any objection?
No objection.
It'll be admitted as People's Exhibit 12.
And when you dropped Neziah off at J.E. Clark, what was the routine supposed to be after school was over?
Okay, well, when school is over, the bell rings at 2:40. Neziah was due to come home. And normally when the bell rings, 2:40, 2:45, she's getting on the bus.
And was that's what she normally did on other days?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry,
And
yes.
what time would she normally arrive back at home?
The Neziah would be walking in through the door maybe 3:05, no later than that.
And on January 9th, did she walk in at 3:05?
No, she did not.
And were you home when she didn't come home?
I was there for a little while, but I left out to run some errands. But no, when I got to the house, she was not there.
And at that time, did you have a conversation with someone else about her not coming home, Neziah not coming home?
Yeah, when I picked my children up from the after school program, I went in and my daughter said,
Objection to what our daughter said, from the hearsay.
I'll rephrase the question.
Okay, sustain.
Just talking about what you saw and heard, and not asking for what anybody said, but did you talk to Shannon, your daughter?
yes, Shannon said she was not there.
When you got home that day on the 9th, was Neziah there?
No,
And did you eventually make a police report about her missing?
yes, I did. Yes, I
And
did.
when did you do that?
That morning when I got to school, I went up and dropped the kids off to school. I talked with the dean and the principal, and I told them that I was on my way to the police station, and they told me that they would call the police, and the DPS police came there.
And you said
Now, what I was trying to figure out is like she's some kind of like babysitter or something like that. Like when she said her kids, like what kids was she picking up? And why didn't she pick up Naziah?
EPS, is that Detroit Public Schools?
Yeah,
And did you talk to an officer at that time at the school?
yes, I did.
And was that at J.E. Clark physically at that location?
Yes,
And you said that morning, are you talking about the morning of the 10th?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Was Naziah active on social media, if you know?
Oh, got it.
As
Thank
far as
you.
I know, she was. I mean, there were times that she was sneaking, go on it, But yeah, she was.
Okay. And did you keep track of her social media pages like TikTok or Facebook or anything like that?
I tried. A lot of times, I would take her phone and stuff from her, so, to keep her from being on there,
And after the 9th, did you ever see any posts made by Naziah?
I didn't see any posts. Most of the time, if there was a post or something, or she posts, my daughter or someone would call me and tell me.
I want to address this. Usually I don't, but I want to address this real quick. I know this has been going on for over a year. I don't think it matters if it was late or not. I think this is something important that needs to be covered. So whether or not I started on time or whatever you consider on time, because again, this happened on January 9th, 2024. I don't think it's about being the first or knowing everything. I think we're all here to help each other, right? We're all here to help each other. And what I don't know, you guys are filling me in on, which I think it's dope. Thank you. Thank you, everybody who has been filling me in with stuff that I don't know. And hopefully I've been able to use my platform and bring awareness to this. So that's all that really matters. All right, let's continue.
Have you ever heard after the 9th, any communication or seen Naziah?
Mm-mm.
When, is that a no?
No.
And when you dropped her off on the 9th at school at J.E. Clark, was that the last time you saw her?
Yes.
May I have one moment, sir?
Yes.
Just to follow up, I did forget to ask this. Her bus stop, how far from your house was that in walking distance?
5 minutes.
Do you know where the location that she got dropped off at was, the address or the intersection?
Right there at a 3 Mile Drive in Cornwall.
And that's 5 minutes from your house?
Yeah.
And did Naziah have any nicknames that people called her?
Where her family called her Tuda, but I've always called her Glamorous. I've been calling her that ever since she was born.
Say Glamour?
Glamorous.
Oh. We have one more question.
Yes. You said Tuda?
Tuda. Mm-hmm.
In the Shannon's interview, or I shouldn't say interview, but her testimony, she says Tuda too as well. So you'll hear that name when we watch Shannon. I think I'm just going to leave with this one, and then we'll pick up part 2, because like I said, there's a lot of information out here. So I kind of want to separate it in parts, because I know if it goes on for too long, the message gets lost, and I don't want to hold y'all too long. Trial, the preliminary trial, yes.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
Now, you are Naziah's maternal grandmother, right?
Correct.
You're also her adopted parent, right?
Correct.
And you said you adopted her in 2016?
Yeah, should have been 16.
Okay. Is her birth mother still around?
She is.
Okay. Does she have a relationship with her?
No.
She doesn't have any type of relationship, no contact with her that you know of?
Well, let me say this. I don't deal with my daughter. So she really didn't have no contact with Naziah like that. She only came around now and then.
Okay. And you testified that you currently stay on Bedford Street?
Yes.
And in fact, I think you testified you lived on 2 houses on Bedford Street.
Correct.
And did Naziah have friends on Bedford Street that you were aware of?
She had friends, but her friends didn't live on Bedford.
Okay. Do you know if she ever had any friends over?
No.
Did she ever spend the night at any of these friends' houses?
No.
Thank you, guys.
And at your prior neighborhood, did she have friends that she may have spent the night over?
No.
Right, because we all know with the foster system, that's a check right there. That's what she's trying not to do. So again, how many kids were in the house? Because if she has Shannon there with her and then Naziah, how many foster kids do she have, you guys?
You indicated that there are approximately 6 children in the house.
Oh, they just said it.
Well,
okay.
Not now. When he asked me about the address,
yes,
I lived at 2 houses, which is on the same street of Bedford.
Okay.
Okay. So the house that we lived in before, it was my children and my daughter's children.
Your daughter being Shannon?
No, Marquita.
Marquita,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And did Naziah have any close relationship with any of these children particularly?
She was close with
So real quick, something that's confusing to me is that Shannon lived with her, right? So did she just recently get these foster kids, or is it a situation where like she said, she has 2 homes, right? Is Shannon living in one home and then the grandma and the foster kids and Naziah are living in one? Like, what is the home setup? Because I can't possibly imagine she got 6 kids and then 5 and then Naziah. That's a lot of kids in that house. Well, and then 2 adults. 6 will be Naziah plus Shannon kids, but it's 8 including the 2 foster. Oh, okay, got it. Vari, whom is Naziah's big brother, ran away. The homes are adjacent. Okay, got it. That's why she's always at the home. Okay. I was all like, okay, somebody break it down for me to make it make sense. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate that.
my granddaughter.
Uh-oh. I don't even know why.
Daughter being Shannon?
Okay,
No,
we're
Marquita.
back.
Marquita,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And did Naziah have any close relationship with any of these children particularly?
She was close with my granddaughter, one of my granddaughters, yeah.
Which granddaughter is that?
Naziah. I mean, Janiyah.
Okay.
All of their names are similar.
And Janiyah is Shannon's daughter?
Yes.
That would be Jarvis's daughter as well, correct?
Correct.
And at your Bedford Street address, how many adults live there?
Just me and Shannon.
Okay. When did Shannon move in?
I'm sorry.
When did Shannon move in to Bedford?
Oh, I guess back in last October or something.
That would be October of 23.
Yeah.
So in January of 24, she was there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, is that a yes?
Yes. Yes.
And you indicated that Desire participated in social media.
She did. She did participate in social media. She was on social media a lot of times when she wasn't supposed to be.
So did you see her post or did you follow her post?
I didn't see her really posting anything. I mean, at times when I did check, I didn't find anything.
Okay.
And most of the time, if she did post something, my daughter's one would, let me know, if she posted something. Like,
So you don't know who her social media friends were?
the only person that I know that was one of her classmates that she would post little things with.
Do we know if they interview the kids in the home? And then also, have they interviewed any of the kids at school and like teachers and stuff like that? Do we know that, you guys? I'll go ahead and continue.
One of her little classmates.
Okay. But it's fair to say there are some things you did not know.
Yeah, well, something, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, you indicated that you drove Desire to school every day, correct?
Correct.
Who else went to school?
Mm-hmm. Right, purely plush.
My other two children, Shannon's children.
Okay. And what type of student was Desire?
Desire was a very good student. Very mannerable, very outgoing. She got good grades. Her attendance was good. The teachers had no problem with her. They really liked
okay.
Desire. Desire got along with just about anybody. She was very likable.
Did she have any disciplinary problems?
No.
Do you recall her ever getting into a fight?
She did.
Wow.
One fight, more than one fight?
There was a young lady that she had a couple of, consultations with in school. And it was like an ongoing situation.
Wow.
Okay. And when did this first start?
I'm not quite sure when it started, but it was like off and on, with this particular schoolmate that she had.
And this is for her current school, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Now, did Desire participate in any extracurricular activities? Was she on band or anything?
She liked it, gym, robotics, art. I mean, she liked a lot of things that she was, involved in,
And would any of these things cause her to have stayed after school?
The only time she stayed after school is when she wanted to be enrolled in the after school program.
Just one. I just want to step back a moment. We asked you about her social media. You said there were some things that you weren't aware of on social media, correct? Did you ever check her direct messages?
Like I said, I did, but when I did, I didn't.
And that testimony wouldn't be online because that's a 9-year-old. So I'm not expecting to see that testimony. But thank you guys for letting me know. And by the way, that 9-year-old is very brave for coming forward and telling that, because obviously the adults wouldn't have.
There was nothing on there.
There was nothing.
No.
Okay. Did you monitor any of her conversations?
Yeah, I would, go check,
Okay.
but like I said, a lot of times, I took Nazia's tablet, from her, at one point, so there was really nothing that I know that she was on, unless she got somebody's cell phone or something,
Okay. So you did mention that she had a tablet. How many devices did she have that allowed her to connect to social media?
She only had that one tablet that I had bought her. And like I said, I took that tablet and put that tablet up.
So on January 9th, you took her to school, correct?
Correct.
And you said it was her and two of your other children that went to school?
My two other children and my daughter's children. I dropped them all off.
And you said that you noticed that she did not come home at her normal time.
Correct.
All right. You did not call the police then, correct?
No. Driving around looking for her. My daughter reached out to some of her classmates.
I highly doubt she actually rolled around looking for her. Probably didn't.
I did. Nothing. And that morning, I got up, and like I said, I went straight to the school, and from there, I was on my way to the police station to make the report, and they called the police from there. DPS police came to the school.
So the first report you made to the police was the next morning?
Yes.
Do you know approximately what time?
School starts at 7:30, so I got there at 7:30. They got there about, I don't know, maybe 8.
So you didn't go to the precinct, you went to the school, and the school called the police?
Yes, they called the police because I was getting ready to leave, and the dean said, "No, stay here." She said, "And we'll call the police."
Okay. Now, you mentioned that you are familiar with Mr. Butts, correct?
I know Mr. Butts.
Okay. And he dated your daughter, Shannon, correct?
Correct.
They did have 5 children, correct?
Correct.
And the children, did all the children stay with you and Shannon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't want to give too much detail on the kids. What were the mix of boys and girls?
Can you repeat that?
What were the mix of the kids, boys and girls?
Well, I have a boy and girl, and Shannon has her 3 boys and her 2 girls.
So she had 3 boys and the 2 girls. Okay. And at any time, now I think you did indicate that Mr. Butts would come over and you.
I'm trying to figure out how I want to respond to something. And I kind of answered it earlier. There's no reason why anybody should be trying to claim ownership over a case, and especially a case this serious. As far as you don't know the facts, or you don't have all the information, you don't have this, you don't have that. Well, we still don't know where Naziah is, and I think finding Naziah should be the main point, the main message of what's going on. Not who and what and this and that. That has nothing to do with shit. Pay attention to what's going on with the case. So I just wanted to say that really, really quick. And thank you, Stephanie.
And I think you said he would rarely come in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But he would come in on occasion, correct?
Not really on occasions, because most of the time when he came in, he would pull up in my driveway and my daughter would go out to the truck, and a lot of times the kids would go out to the truck. So it was very rare if he ever came in my house.
And you indicated that you were close, you were close with Neziah?
Yes.
Can you think of any reason that Neziah would not share information with you?
No. Neziah would come to me and talk to me all the time.
Okay.
If something was bothering her, or if she had a bad day in school, she'll come to me and we'll sit and talk about it. I always kept the door open for communication with Neziah and with really all of my children. So she always felt free, to come to me and sit down and talk to me about whatever.
So if something was frustrating Neziah, she would come with you?
She would, that I know of, yes.
All right, if something was scaring Neziah, she would come to you?
If something was bothering her or she was frustrated about something, she'll come to me and say, hey, Nana, can I talk to you?
If there was any medical condition, she would come to you regarding that?
I believe she would, yes.
You take her to the hospital, take her to the doctor?
Yes.
Okay.
Why couldn't Neziah come to them and tell them that she was pregnant? And secondly, how long was she going to be able to cover it up for? I feel like some of you guys have said that they knew that she was pregnant.
Just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Can you redirect?
Ms. Harris, I just have a couple more questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
When Mr. Riggins was asking you questions, you said that Mr. Butts would come and sit in his car, right? Outside your house?
Yes.
And you said that the kids would go and out to the car.
Yes.
Right, Stephanie. That's something that somebody gave her. That's not even how human beings would talk. Yeah. Now, one question. While I'm talking to Stephanie, do you guys know if the auntie and the aunties and the grandma, they got them like a lawyer, like somebody to represent them? Now, I know they haven't been charged with anything, but you know how like sometimes during these cases, people will lawyer up so they don't get in trouble. I'm wondering, did they do that or no? Because like you said, Stephanie, that doesn't sound natural at all.
Yes.
Which kids would go out to the car?
His kids.
Would Neziah ever go with his kids out to the car?
If Shannon was out there, she would.
Oh. And Mr.
I
Riggins
noticed
also
that
asked
too.
you about the tablet that you bought for Neziah.
Yes.
Remember those questions?
Yes.
And when, if you can remember, narrow that down, when did you buy that tablet for her?
I bought that tablet for her one Christmas. I think it was I think it was in 22 when I bought that tablet, at the end of 22 when I bought that tablet for her.
So December of 22?
Yeah, I think that when I bought that tablet.
So she would have had that tablet for roughly just over a year then, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And did Neziah also have access to a cell phone?
The only cell phone she had access to was one of the cell phones when my oldest daughter came to visit me. She gave to Neziah, but she could only use it by Wi-Fi.
You said your oldest daughter, is that Neziah's biological mother?
Yes.
Okay. And through
I know the mom isn't around, but she's physically alive. Do we know if they interviewed the mama at all? Like, has the mama came out and said anything? I seen a video of a lady who I didn't know who she was, and she was like crying. I wonder, was that the mama? Because at this point, I'm all like, investigate everybody. Even the mama, even though the mama ain't no good, interview the mama too. Shit. Let's continue.
Through what's your oldest daughter's name?
Kenyatta Harris.
Through Kenyatta Harris, Neziah got access to a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
No, that's the auntie. Oh, right.
Mr. Reagan's also asked you about Neziah staying after school. You said that there was an after-school program she was involved in.
Yes.
A
On
podcast.
January 9th
Okay.
And in January of 24, was she still involved in that program?
No, I took her out of it because she was having problems with one of her schoolmates at that time. The same person that he asked me about before that she didn't get along with.
The same person Mr. Reagan's asked you about.
Absolutely.
And so on the 9th, she was not supposed to stay after school. correct?
No, she was supposed to come straight home.
And when she didn't come home, you said that you were driving around looking for her, correct?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what efforts you made on the 9th to locate her?
When I went to the school to go pick my son and daughter up because they were also in the after school program, picked them up, went back to the house. I thought she was there, and when I got to the house and I found out that she wasn't there, I got back in the car and I went back up to the school. And by that time, nobody was there. Nobody was at the school. So now, I mean, I'm kind of like, I'm frustrated. Now I'm going like, you know, because whenever she wants to stay after school or do something, she would always call me. Well, hey, Nana, can I stay after school? Well, she would call one of her TTs, hey, TT, can I stay after school? So that wasn't like her. So I'm really frustrated now. So now I go back to the house and I'm talking to my daughter, Shannon.
I want to stop you right there because I don't want to go into what anybody else said.
Okay.
But you went back to the school. Nobody was at the school. You went back to the house. Neziah is still not there, correct?
Correct.
Did you go back out looking for her after that?
I did.
Where did you go with her?
I was driving around in the neighborhood, everywhere. I'm just looking, just like hoping I'll see her, you know.
And by the way, shout out to the city of Detroit. I know this has to be hard with all the attention on this and everything going on. And, you know, Detroit is one of those cities because, you know, I live in Oakland. So Detroit is one of those cities that get a bad rap. And it's just sad when you hear things like this happen. So definitely prayers for the city of Detroit. And I heard somebody try to basically make this a situation like, oh, the people in Detroit are dumb or they're not that smart. Don't let nobody talk about your city. Don't let nobody do that to you. Let's continue.
On the 9th, when you were looking for her, well, let me ask it this way. Did you know Neziah to go to Mr.
I've heard that too,
Kima.
Kima.
To assist him with anything there?
Yes, there was a couple of times that she went with his daughter and they went up there to go clean up at his shop.
And how would they get there? If you remember?
He would come and pick them up.
And was that in that white truck that you talked about earlier?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And did you yourself know where Mr. Butts worked at?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know where is that?
It was Frank's shop located on East Warren.
And is that the last place that you knew him to work? Or did you know him to work somewhere else?
I knew him to work there, and then the shop moved to a different location.
Did you know where that new location was?
Personally, no.
Okay. And did you ever, on the 9th, did you ever try and go to Mr. Butts' place of work to look for Neziah?
On the 9th, no.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Harris, we're done testifying. Watch your step. Please exit the box.
Okay.
All right, that's it, you guys. All right. So, like I said, there's a lot more testimonies. We'll watch Shannon's, but I want to do it in sections. I didn't want to go on for like 5 hours because, like I said, the reason why I don't like to do the long lives is because a lot of people watch more of my replays, and I want y'all to actually get the information. Like I said, I love how we were able to bounce off of each other and share information, things that we heard, find out what's true, what's not true. So I like what we did today. So I want to say thank you to every single one of y'all. Also, thank you to Celebrity Scandalous. Thank you for sending the super chat as well too. Usually during the serious topics, I don't like asking for, super chats, cash ups, but I always will thank you guys and thank you for the support. I also don't even like saying like for these, like hit the like button, but please hit the like button. I don't even like saying hit the like button because I feel like, okay, this is looking like you're doing this for you know how it looks, right? But anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you guys for, giving me information. Hopefully I shared a little bit with you guys and got you familiar with this case. Some of you guys didn't know about this. This was your first time. So I'm happy that I was able to introduce it. And like I said, it doesn't matter who covers it and who doesn't cover it. As long as it's getting covered, that's all that matters. This is not an exclusive tea that only one person had. This is information that's national news. So I just want to make that clear, I love y'all. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to Demetria. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Melanie Jones. Thank y'all for holding it down. But we out of here. Deuces, everybody.